A forest isn't just trees, it's a biological machine. This vast, intricate engine is powered by sunlight, built from countless living parts, each performing a vital function. To truly understand this system, we must begin not with the towering giants, but with the smallest component, a single leaf. Held up to the light, a leaf reveals itself as a miniature factory. Within its delicate green cells, a process called photosynthesis takes place. Tiny structures capture the energy from sunlight. They convert carbon dioxide from the air, they take up water from the soil, and they make simple sugars, the fundamental fuel for all life within the tree. This sweet energy doesn't just nourish the leaf, it is transported down the trunk, feeding every branch, feeding every root, feeding every cell. Now imagine that leaf at the end of its season. Its journey is far from over, it has entered a new phase. Here it becomes part of a bustling recycling plant operated by a legion of tiny workers. Minute insects begin the process of shredding it. Worms continue the shredding. Other small creatures join in. These fragments then become a feast for an unseen world of bacteria and fungi. Microscopic decomposers break down the complex organic matter. They release essential minerals, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. The newly freed minerals dissolve into the moisture held within the soil, creating a rich, nourishing broth. Nearby, the fine, questing tips of tree roots absorb this enriched water, drawing it upward. These are the very same minerals the tree needs to grow new leaves. Strengthen its trunk, extend its reach toward the sky. Thus the life of a single leaf directly fuels the growth of the entire tree. It is a perfect cyclical illustration of how the smallest parts support the largest. This micro to macro connection is the fundamental principle that governs the entire forest. Nothing is wasted. The fall of a leaf is not an end but a beginning, a transfer of resources from the canopy above to the soil below. The forest is not a static collection of plants, but a dynamic, ever-changing community. From the sunlight-gathering leaf, onto the nutrient-releasing microbe. This intricate dance ensures the machine keeps running, day after day, season after season. A mature forest is not a single uniform space but a complex, multi-leveled city with distinct layers, or strata, each hosting its own unique community of residents. At the very top, stretching towards the sun, is the canopy. Visual cross-section showing canopy labeled, "This is the roof of the forest," formed by the interwoven crowns of the tallest, most dominant trees. It is a world of bright light, wind, and open air. The leaves here are the primary energy producers for the entire ecosystem, absorbing the lion's share of solar radiation. This vibrant leafy ceiling is a bustling metropolis for countless species: birds, insects, arboreal mammals. Just below this sun-drenched roof lies the understory. This middle layer is a quieter, more shaded realm, populated by smaller, more shade-tolerant trees and tall shrubs. Here, young saplings bide their time, growing slowly in the dappled light, waiting for a gap to open in the canopy above, perhaps when an old giant falls, giving them their chance to race for the sun. The understory is a crucial intermediate zone, providing shelter and food for a different set of inhabitants. Birds like the wood thrush may nest here. Larger insects, tree frogs, find refuge among the sparser foliage. Descending further, we arrive at the forest floor. This is a dim, humid, and profoundly important layer, carpeted with a thick blanket of fallen leaves, twigs, and decaying wood, collectively known as leaf litter. It may seem quiet, but this layer is teeming with life. It is the domain of the decomposers. Beetles, millipedes, earthworms, slugs, snails work tirelessly, breaking down the organic debris that rains down from above. This is also where you will find a stunning variety of fungi, sprouting as mushrooms or spreading as nearly invisible threads. Ferns, mosses, wildflowers adapted to low-light conditions dot this landscape, and it provides a vital hunting ground and home for small mammals, amphibians, reptiles. Finally, beneath our feet lies the foundation of it all, the soil. This is more than just dirt. It is a living, breathing matrix. The top layer, rich in dark, decomposed organic matter called humus, is a reservoir of nutrients. This soil is riddled with the vast, intricate networks of tree roots, which anchor the giants above and draw up water and minerals, but it is also permeated by an astonishing diversity of microscopic life, billions of bacteria, fungi, protozoa. When we picture fungi in a forest, we often think of the visible mushrooms that emerge from the soil or sprout from decaying logs. These, however, are merely the fruiting bodies, the equivalent of an apple on a tree. The main part of the fungus is a vast hidden network of incredibly fine, thread-like structures called mycelium, which spreads for miles beneath the forest floor. These threads weave through the soil, connecting the roots of individual trees in a complex, symbiotic web. This remarkable partnership, known as a mycorrhizal association, is one of the most important relationships in the entire forest ecosystem, a secret alliance that benefits both the fungus and the tree. This subterranean network acts as a crucial extension of a tree's own root system. The fungal threads are far finer than even the smallest tree rootlet, allowing them to penetrate tiny pores in the soil that the roots cannot reach. This dramatically increases the surface area available for absorption, enabling the tree to access much more water and vital nutrients, particularly phosphorus and nitrogen, which are often difficult for plants to acquire on their own. In essence, the fungus acts as a highly efficient delivery service, mining the soil for essential resources and transporting them directly to the tree's roots, boosting its health and resilience. Of course, this is not an act of charity, it is a trade. The fungus, which cannot produce its own food through photosynthesis, receives something invaluable in return. The tree shares a portion of the energy-rich sugars it creates in its leaves, sending this vital carbon down through its roots and into the fungal network. This exchange forms a bustling underground economy, a marketplace where trees trade sunlight-derived sugars for soil-mined minerals. This partnership is so successful and so fundamental that it is estimated over 90% of all land plants, including nearly every tree in the forest, are engaged in these mycorrhizal relationships. Even more astonishingly, this intricate web does more than just facilitate trade between a single tree and a fungus. The mycelial threads connect multiple trees, even those of different species, creating what scientists have nicknamed the wood wide web. Through this living internet, trees can share resources and even communicate. A large, healthy tree with ample access to sunlight can send excess carbon to smaller, shaded saplings, helping them survive until they can reach the light. Trees can also send chemical alarm signals through the network to warn their neighbors of an insect attack, prompting nearby trees to ramp up their own chemical defenses. This hidden, collaborative network links the forest together into a single, cohesive superorganism. While plants and fungi form the foundation of the forest, it is the animals that bring it to life with movement and sound, acting as the dynamic gears and levers of the living machine. Their roles are far more significant than simply living within the trees. They are active participants and architects of the ecosystem. One of their most vital jobs is that of pollination. Bees, butterflies, birds, bats travel from flower to flower in search of nectar. They inadvertently carry pollen with them. This simple act is essential for the reproduction of many flowering plants, ensuring they can produce the fruits and seeds necessary for the next generation to grow. Another critical function performed by animals is seed dispersal. After a plant has been successfully pollinated and produced fruit, its seeds must be transported away from the parent plant to find a suitable place to germinate, reducing competition for light and resources. Animals are the primary movers. Birds, mammals often miles away, complete with a small dose of fertilizer. Squirrels, jays bury nuts and acorns, intending to retrieve them later, but inevitably forget some, effectively planting new trees. Even ants play a role, carrying small seeds back to their nests, helping to sow the forest floor. The influence of animals extends to shaping the physical structure of the forest itself. Deer moose act as natural pruners, browsing on certain plants and preventing any single species from becoming too dominant. Their grazing can open up clearings in the understory, allowing more sunlight to reach the forest floor and promoting a greater diversity of plant life. Badgers, groundhogs dig extensive burrows. This digging, or bioturbation, mixes and aerates the soil, improving its structure and allowing water and nutrients to penetrate more deeply, benefiting the entire plant community. Smallest insect to the largest predator is an integral link in the forest's food web, the complex system of who eats whom. Herbivores convert the energy stored in plants into a form that can be consumed by other animals. Carnivores, in turn, help to control the populations of herbivores, preventing them from overgrazing and damaging the vegetation. When any animal dies, its body is not wasted. Scavengers, decomposers quickly move in, breaking down the carcass and returning its stored nutrients to the soil, where they once again become available to the plants. This continuous flow of energy and matter through the animal kingdom is essential for the forest's equilibrium. Forests are immense biological pumps, playing a central role in the water cycle and the carbon cycle. Imagine a rainstorm over a forest. As the rain falls, it doesn't just splash onto bare ground. The canopy intercepts much of the rain on leaves and bark. Water drips slowly to the forest floor, soaking into humus-rich soil instead of running off and causing erosion. Some water evaporates straight from the leaves back into the air. That interception slows water flow, preventing floods and stabilizing streams and rivers. Trees actively move water. Roots draw huge quantities from the soil. That water travels up the trunk and branches to the leaves. There, it fuels photosynthesis and helps keep the tree cool. Much of it is released as invisible vapor through tiny pores, transpiration. A single large oak can transpire 150,000 liters a year. Millions of trees together add vast, atmospheric moisture. That moisture reshapes weather patterns. In places like the Amazon, trees create flying rivers of vapor influencing rainfall hundreds or thousands of miles downwind. Recycling rainfall keeps regional climate stable and supplies water to distant agricultural lands. Forests act as natural air conditioners and humidifiers, moderating temperatures and maintaining steady water flow across the landscape, a service of incalculable value. At the same time, forests are the planet's greatest carbon sinks. Through photosynthesis, trees take in CO2 from the atmosphere. They use carbon to build wood bark leaves roots, locking carbon away. A growing forest is a huge carbon reservoir. Carbon stays sequestered for the tree's lifetime, often centuries. When trees decay, some carbon becomes soil organic matter where it can remain stable for centuries. Carbon sequestration by forests is one of our strongest tools against climate change. For millennia, the story of humanity has been intertwined with the story of forests. They have provided us with the fundamental materials for civilization. Dobrais Dane Stein, Abram, wood for building our homes and tools, fuel to cook our food and fire our forges, a wealth of foods, medicines, and other resources. Forests have sheltered us, inspired us, and shaped our cultures, from the sustainable harvesting practices of indigenous communities to the planting of orchards and woodlots. Our relationship with these ecosystems has often been one of careful stewardship and mutual benefit. This deep connection is embedded in our history, demonstrating a long-standing reliance on the forest's bounty. However, in more recent history, particularly over the last few centuries, the scale and nature of our impact have changed dramatically. The demand for agricultural land and urban space has led to deforestation on an unprecedented scale. Vast swaths of ancient woodland have been cleared to make way for cities, roads, and monoculture farms. Satellite split screen, healthy forest versus cleared farmland. This removal of the forest canopy has profound consequences. It disrupts local water cycles, often leading to more extreme patterns of drought and flood. Without the anchoring network of tree roots, the rich topsoil is left exposed and vulnerable, easily washed away by rain, degrading the land and polluting waterways. The loss of forests is also a critical driver of climate change. When forests are cut down and burned, the immense stores of carbon that were sequestered in the trees and soil are released back into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. This contributes significantly to the greenhouse effect that is warming our planet. Furthermore, deforestation represents a catastrophic loss of biodiversity. For every hectare of forest that disappears, countless species of plants, animals, fungi, microbes lose their homes. This not only diminishes the richness of life on Earth, but also unravels the complex ecological webs that provide services essential to our own well-being. The impact is not just ecological, it is deeply human. Many communities around the world depend directly on forests for their livelihoods. Clean water and food security. When these forests are degraded or destroyed, these people are often the first to suffer. The good news is that we are increasingly recognizing the immense value of these ecosystems and the urgent need to change our approach. The human footprint on the forest does not have to be a destructive one. We possess the knowledge and the ability to shift from exploitation to restoration, to protect what remains, and to rebuild what has been lost for the benefit of all life. Understanding a forest as a complex, living machine transforms our perception of it. We move beyond seeing a simple collection of trees and begin to appreciate the intricate collaboration of its parts. Each leaf acts as a solar panel, each root acts as a pipeline, each fungus acts as a communications cable, each animal is a vital cog in the machinery. It is a system perfected over millions of years, a model of efficiency, resilience, sustainability. These ecosystems are not just beautiful landscapes, they are the planet's life support systems, cleaning our air, filtering our water, stabilizing our climate. Our well-being is inextricably linked to their health. Clean water in our taps often begins in a forested watershed. Stable climate helps our crops, regulated by carbon stores, and by forest moisture recycling. They are a source of inspiration, a place for recreation, a living library of biodiversity with potential for discoveries and medicines. To damage them is to dismantle the machinery that sustains us. Therefore, our role is careful mechanics and thoughtful custodians. Support efforts to protect old-growth forests, participate in reforestation projects, plant native tree species to support local wildlife, make conscious choices in daily life, support sustainably sourced wood and paper. By valuing these ecosystems, we create incentives to preserve them for future generations. The forest is a story of connection. Small things working together. From microscopic bacteria in the soil to the eagle soaring above the canopy. By learning these connections, we foster deeper respect for the natural world. The wonders of the forest are endless. Our journey has only begun. Explore. Protect this living legacy. If you want more clear and fun facts like these, hit subscribe for more interesting facts.